Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creator Weekly Live for July 9th, 2023. If you're in North America, US, Canada, I hope you had a great holiday week. Everyone else, I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Now, you would think that maybe because it was a holiday week in the US, there maybe would be less updates, and that's kind of true, but there is also a lot going on. I want to take a moment to say hi to everyone who is in the chat. Thank you for joining me live. If you're here watching the recording, feel free to leave a comment. And if you would like to get the weekly updates with all the links and details in your email inbox, subscribe to my newsletter. There is a link in the description. Okay, so what is happening this week? First of all, I wanted to mention that if you have a YouTube channel, in the YouTube Partner Program, you need to be sure you have accepted the new terms by July 10th, this coming week. So in February, I believe it was, YouTube announced new terms. These cover all the different types of monetization. Unlike the old terms, they are modular. So there is a core set of terms everyone must accept. And then if you're going to monetize with ads on your watch page, that's one set of terms. Monetize shorts, that's different. Memberships, supers, all of those have separate terms modules to accept. What you need to do is be sure you've accepted the core terms by July 10th, or monetization will be removed from your YouTube channel. And it doesn't mean it will be removed forever, but you will have to accept the terms, and then you may need to reapply. So be sure to do that if you haven't done so already. Check the Earn tab in YouTube Studio to confirm which terms you've agreed to. All right, now I wanted to mention a couple nice little updates for YouTube this past week. The first update, I don't have a demo for, but it's that you can now read and interact with community posts on tablets. Previously, creators could post a post on YouTube on a tablet, but I don't think people could read them or comment or and so forth. So this is a really nice update because there are a lot of people with iPads and other tablets. The other update I wanted to share with you, whoops, that is what is known as the wrong slide. Okay. What I wanted to share with you today is another nice update if you are a live streamer. And this is an update in YouTube Analytics, where you can now see how many people set reminders for your live stream. So to get to this chart in your YouTube Analytics, click See More. So you go to the Analytics tab in YouTube Studio, click See More to do a deep dive, and then click the current metrics. You can see in then the screenshot I have, it says reminders set by content. That is not the default. You need to click that and select more metrics and scroll through all the options. And then you'll see a section for live, and there is a reminder set metric. So this is an interesting thing to see. How many people are setting reminders before your live stream for your live stream? And all of you out there who set a reminder for my live stream, I appreciate that. You can see 10 different videos at a time on the charts. So if you have a lot of live streams, you may need to kind of play with the different settings so you can see all of them. So those were my big updates for YouTube this week. Nothing earth-shattering, but both of those are really nice. The other update I wanted to talk to you about this week was Threads. I want to say thank you to Craig for sharing a link to this video on Threads right now. If you're wondering what the heck is Threads, first I need to take a little step back. Twitter, as I mentioned last week, has been blocking visibility for people who are not signed into a Twitter account, and also constraining how much people can actually view. It's sort of rate limiting. They say it's to prevent scraping. It seems like a really weird way to do it. This past week, Twitter changed its settings so that people who are not signed into a Twitter account can see individual tweets. It seems like this corresponded with the fact that Google was removing individual tweets from the search results, which they do because people couldn't actually access the content when they clicked the search results. So people can see individual tweets if they're signed out, but I just checked, and it is not possible to see someone's Twitter profile if they are not signed in to a Twitter account. This is not great if you're using Twitter for self-promotion or to make announcements. It'd be kind of nice if people could actually see your profile, but that's not possible right now. So Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, took this opportunity to launch their very Twitter-like platform called Threads. And they actually said it's because they're taking advantage of this point, people being frustrated with Twitter. Threads is linked to your Instagram account. So if you have Instagram already, you can use that to set up Threads. And you don't even need to do anything. It tries to, link the same followers if you want to, but you can follow different people on Instagram and Threads. And the other thing I wanted to mention, it is currently available in 100 countries, but not anywhere in the EU. That has to do with concerns with legal and privacy issues. My understanding is that Threads wants to come to the EU, so we'll see what happens there. So what the heck is Threads? Is this a Twitter killer? And I wanted to point out that Adam Mosseri, who is the head of Instagram, has been really active on Threads, answering people's questions, giving clarification. He's saying good things. So as he posted on Threads, that's what this is on your screen right now, he says, the goal isn't to replace Twitter. The goal is to create a public square for communities on Instagram that never really embraced Twitter, and for communities on Twitter and other platforms that are interested in a less angry place for conversations, but not all of Twitter. So that seems kind of placating a little. It actually sounds pretty good. It has interesting conversations, less angry than Twitter. I can get into that. I think one of the things that some people are not that happy with is that he said politics and hard news are inevitably going to show up on Threads. They have Instagram as well to some extent, but they're not going to do anything to encourage those verticals. They're not going to encourage politics and hard news, partially because they tend to be angry things and generate a lot of heat. There's obviously regulatory issues with misinformation and so forth. So we'll see how that actually works. One of the things that I've seen discussed a lot is that this is partially favoring people who have a big following on Instagram. So basically, you can carry your Instagram following over to Threads. But Instagram is a visual platform. It's for posting photos. It's not clear that people who are really popular on Instagram for posting photos and videos are going to be very good at posting interesting text posts. So we'll see how that works. Let me just quickly call up the other information I wanted to share, which was that Adam Mosseri also pointed out something that I think has the potential to be really exciting with Threads. They have said that they will make it compatible with ActivityPub. Now, ActivityPub is the underlying protocol that drives Mastodon, Lemmy, a bunch of other Fediverse platforms. There isn't just Mastodon, there's platforms for sharing links, sort of Reddit-like, photos, videos, and so forth. And if Threads can interoperate with that, that means that you could be on Mastodon and follow someone on Threads. Someone on Threads could probably follow someone who's on Mastodon. And what Adam Mosseri said is that what I think resonates with most creators, in his experience, is that you should own your audience. So if you decide to leave Threads, you can bring your audience with you. And that's actually a pretty exciting idea. I think there's a lot of inertia on various social media where people will have a following. They may be not happy with the platform, but they don't want to move somewhere else where nobody follows them. So I think that will be really compelling if they do a good job in launching that, and that will be in the future. The other thing I wanted to mention is that apparently Threads was launched very quickly, so they don't have all features there. They've promised they will have a following thread. Right now, if you look at the algorithmic feed, it's just a mishmash of things, people you follow, people you don't. It's not clear who's going to be active there a week from now, but right now it's very active with a lot of people whose post I'm not particularly interested in. You can mute people, you can block people, but a following feed, I think, is going to be pretty essential. So one of the other things I wanted to mention is that right now, I am on a huge number of social platforms. I seem to have maybe a problem where I've basically signed up for lots of different social networks. I did make a post on my blog about this. Right now, as Peggy K, I am on my website, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Mastodon, on T2, which is a very small network, only I think about 10,000 people. They're very gradually expanding, and I think that's going to be interesting. Their whole goal is to have a sort of kinder, gentler place for discussions. Maybe not so many brands as on Threads. And I'm also on Blue Sky, which is interesting. All of these overlap considerably in terms of who is on those platforms, who I follow, who follows me. It's kind of a mishmash right now. I'm not thinking this is going to be sustainable to continue posting all of these places, but right now things are sorting out. You know, it's kind of, you want to get the foot in the door before things blow up. So here I am. And you'll notice on this list, I did not list Threads because I have a bit of a complication in that my Instagram account is my personal account. I don't post tech things there. I post personal photos, you know, places I've been, photos from my garden, that sort of thing. But I moved over to Threads, and a lot of the people I follow on Twitter and Blue Sky and all these other places are now on Threads and posting. So I followed some of them. It's kind of like very much a crossing the stream situation. I hope there isn't a big explosion. So I need to figure out how I'm actually going to manage my various social media. Hopefully, at least there will be fewer come a few months from now, because obviously I can't post to all those places. So those are the big updates this week. I wanted to point to one more update from Google, which is talking about how website owners can signal whether it's okay for AI researchers to use their content. So if you have a website, there's a robots text file, and that tells search bots like Google whether they are allowed to spider the site. So if you don't want Google indexing your website, you can put code in the robots text file, and Google search, Bing, all the big search engines, they respect that code. But there's no equivalent for the various bots used to gather content to train AI. And so what Google is doing is talking about what the options may be. They say they want this to be a discussion, and they want people from all different kinds of backgrounds, so the AI community, web developers, everybody, to participate in this discussion. There is a link where you can sign up and put in your 2 cents. I think that this is going to be important, because what Twitter's doing, for example, to prevent scrapers, and it's widely rumored that this is to prevent AI companies from using Twitter's data, that isn't really sustainable, because if you're blocking it for AI and blocking it for the public, that reduces the value of your platform. And so I think this is important. I think it's too bad this wasn't talked about a few years ago, before the AI companies did their first pass across the internet. But I think it is a step in the right direction, and hopefully they come to some sort of agreement and easy way to implement this machine readable indicator on your websites. So those are my top updates for creators this week. I hope you found this interesting. If you want to see all the updates, you can see this week's newsletter, this week's roundup, at the link in the description. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Sunday and the rest of your week. I'll see you again live next Sunday.